Live from the nation's capital, Monrovia, and beaming across the world, what a pleasant way to say good afternoon and welcome to the program, The Basis. The Basis is an hour program brought to you every Sunday from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Liberia time. My name is Angeline Noah, and I have along with me my colleague Eric Gully. On today's edition of the program, we'll be bringing you updates on COVID-19 and issues surrounding the increase in sexual gender-based violence cases across the country. And we'll now move on to my colleague Eric Gully to have his voice on the show. Good afternoon, Eric.
Yeah, good afternoon, Angel. It's a pleasure joining you again today on this platform wherein we discuss issues pertaining to the growth and development of our country, Mama Liberia. It's a pleasure joining you again this afternoon. I'm highly honored being on the show.
Okay, thank you very much, and you're highly welcome. Today we have with us on our show Telvina Cole. Telvina Cole is a sexual gender-based violence activist and a founder, one of the founders of gender-based violence awareness group. And she will join us today and run us through some issues surrounding gender-based violence cases. And we also have along with us Aaron. Good afternoon, Aaron, and welcome to KMTV.
Good afternoon, Angel. Thank you for having us. And I feel welcome. Thank you.
Okay, so Aaron is also a gender-based violence fighter who fight against rape cases across the country and across across the world at large. So we're now running to our discussion. Our discussion for the day, we will be talking about the increase in violent cases across the country, some of the causes, and what our fighters, our activists are doing, and also our government as well. So while we wait on Telvina to join us, we will move on to Aaron again. So Aaron, how are you doing? How has life been with you so far?
Thank you very much. First of all, let me apologize for my voice. I have a bit of cold, so I have a little cold in my tone. So it's been amazing, even though in these times, this is not normal times. It's been difficult. COVID-19 got everybody home, and a lot of things happening in our society, a lot of things happening in our community. But we just, give God the glory that, we can still be alive, healthy, and be able to speak out for people, who need to hear some of the things we have to say and speak out for the voiceless.
Okay, thank you. All right, so you just give us a brief information about this group. I know you are representing your team right now, so give us a brief information about this group, your awareness group.
Okay, thank you. So the Liberia Sexual Gender-Based Violence Awareness Group is a collaboration of, young people, older people, experts, people who are learning, to come together as Liberians. Obviously, everybody Liberians and some in and out of Liberia. A major, part of our membership are in the diaspora, and we have a small team in Liberia also. But intent of this group is to come together and bring out these alignment issues that relates to sexual and gender-based violence in Liberia. The high increase of violence in Liberia. How can we as Liberians, fight against all forms of violence in Liberia? How can we, foster government efforts? How can we reach out to the community? How can we work with community people? How can we work with other small and local and international groups, and also what is our role, what are our roles as, as citizens of Liberia, as Liberians concerned about the increase of violence in Liberia. How can we, help our society have a better and a safe space, safe society for everybody to coexist. So the intention is we are together to be able to work to end violence in Liberia. It is our mission. We are here to help the government, to help local international partners, everybody in the sector of SGBV to end violence in Liberia. And there's a team that is full of experts, that is full of students, professors, and professional people with vast ideas and knowledge about, various things.
All right, Aaron.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello, Aaron.
Yeah, I think Aaron
So
is
I
having
think,
network.
okay, I think we have lost Aaron. So we move on to Telvina. Good afternoon, Telvina, and welcome on KMTV.
Good afternoon. I am so sorry I'm late. I was having some technical difficulty there. Good to see you guys. To put faces to names. I'm glad to be here.
Okay. The member of your team or Aaron was just running us through information about your awareness group, but I think he's having difficulties in the network. So he told us that your awareness group focus on fighting against violence cases across the country. Okay. But then this brought to mind also, how have the awareness helped the country or the nation so far? How have you been fighting against cases so far?
Okay, so I don't know if Ava went through who we are and all of that. If not, please don't let me do it again. He did?
Yes, he did.
Okay, so I don't need to replay that cassette. So
Hi, Tel, welcome.
hi, Aaron. Good to see you. So the group, I mean, what we've done and still doing have helped the country a whole lot, and in more ways than we can even see or hear about at this point. We through our we've put together a mighty army, as you guys know and have seen. So we've been going from platform to platform, adding our voices with other people and just speaking about all forms of violence, especially rape, which is very prevalent in our society or in Liberia. And we've also been follow up on cases. We've been collaborating with other stations and other groups to see how best we can solve some of the issues on there. Also, through our awareness, we're being able to come out with some solutions to some of the things we think are pre-existing problems to the primary problem. And so we're doing some behind the scene work to see how best we can resolve some of them now and and long term. So it has helped a whole lot. Also, we've seen through our awareness that more and more people, not only us, so we're not going to take the glory for this, other people, including you guys and other advocates out there, more and more survivors are coming forth and explaining their story without shame. And so we're very proud about that. Also, we're also seeing that the government are taking little bit steps in the right direction. We're following them closely. We're seeing, even though that's not the way to go, but we're seeing that the more that we put, hold their feet to fire, we're seeing that they were doing small things. And so we want to say, I mean, the awareness is working, but we still got more work to do. And it requires a collective effort of everybody. Aaron, please feel free to jump in.
Yes, Tel, no problem. But
Hello?
yeah, we are here.
Okay, I will get to you, Aaron. I will get to you. So, looking at some of the highlights from Gender Minister Pisotai, he gave us some of the cases of rape some cases of gender-based violence. And from the month of March, she discovered as a minister of gender that we have like 389 rape cases, most especially from Montserrat County. And then 17 gang rapes. Are you there with me?
Yeah, we're listening.
17 gang rapes and one child marriage from a Bancho community in Montserrat as well. Okay, so you guys have been fighting, which I must appreciate as well. But what do we say, or what can you say is the major cause of the increase in violence cases, continued increase in violence cases across the country?
So I let me speak to the data first, because I like data. I was on that call as well when she spoke to the nation briefly on your station. Why it is true that she was able to put some numbers forward. I believe the number is inadequate. It's insufficient. You do not, putting such number out there is misleading. You know, she in one voice said, oh, this is what we have, but then you're saying all the cases are reducing. They're not reducing. The fact that you haven't gathered all the data from the other states, I mean, from the others, our data collects, doesn't mean that they're reducing. What you have on hand is not enough to say that the numbers are reducing. Certainly not. They're not reducing. So either you wait, and I messaged her about that. You wait until you have enough data to speak to the nation and give correct information versus giving inaccurate, unsupported data. So I saw the numbers. I was not okay with that. They are disturbing, even if they were just 309 cases. They are disturbing, and some of the reasons I think there are problems with the increase, not only in America. I will tell you, in Liberia, this is not unique to Liberia. All around the world, there's a spike in gender violence simply because of COVID. Everybody staying home, children staying home, you own with your abusers, people loss of income, a lot of variables. But you know what? Other states, other countries are making right steps in the right direction. But we see our leaders are silent on these things all around them. Silent. And I still can't understand the silence, because you know what? There is no way you can play blind eye to this. There is no way. It's in the papers, it's on Facebook, it's everywhere. And you are the duty bearers. So you should be very vocal about this, enforcing the laws. And some of the reasons why we say that the numbers are increasing is because of the political will. We have good laws. I've read the gender policy. I've read the RIP law. I've read the child law. I mean, every law that ties to this or policy, I've took my time to read it. Maybe some of them more than once. So we have we have the laws, but to enforce the law, the political will to enforce the laws, I think that is the primary problem there. I mean, I say it now and say, first I want to be very gentle about it and say, the system is broken. But you know what? I'm moving away from broken to say the system is rotten. It is rotten. It's beyond broken. Any other word, I won't use profanity because I was never raised that way, but broken and rotten to a point that it needs a complete overhaul. Because even the justice system, they have the laws, they cannot enforce it. Somebody would say, oh, well, they need to enforce the laws. But you know what? They don't have money to do, you don't need money to do the right thing. And you know what? You have budgets. You have budget allocation to be able to do this thing, get stationaries, enforce the law. To do what is right, it doesn't require money. It doesn't require money. It doesn't require money for gender minister to sit there and talk to the public or do briefings 2-3 times a week. They can call you guys, can call anybody else to talk to the public, get case status. It doesn't require money for Patrick Sudo or whoever her name is. I'm trying to know their names. To talk to the nation on the number of cases, the status of a case. You don't have to call the survivor's name. We don't. But to interface with your public and give them the appropriate information, that doesn't call for money, but that lack of will, the interest to do the right thing, it is what that is damaging and is what is concerning, and we need to look at that. We're talking about root cause analysis. That's what the root, that is the root of the problem. And until we can see this as dangerous and see it as a war, because this is really a war on our bodies, war on our children, our men and our women, we're going nowhere. And the president, the chief feminist chief, all of them need to see it that way. They that way. They need to see it for what it is. See it for what it is. Double epidemic, call it whatever it is. It is terrible, it is worse, and we need to address it as soon as possible with a sense of urgency. All hands on deck. That's what it needs.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I believe that people are listening to you. Maybe the leaders that you are speaking to are listening to you as well. So some of them will be able to work in line with you. Now, what can you do to correct this system that you describe as rotten?
I don't want to be the only person talking here. I want Aaron to come in. I
Yeah,
can answer
okay.
your question, but let Aaron come in.
Okay, Aaron. Hello, Aaron.
Yeah,
Hello,
thank you.
yes.
So,
Welcome, Aaron.
yeah, thank you again.
Did you hear the
So-
question?
Can you say that again, please?
The question was, what can you people do to correct this system that Telvina described as rotten?
So you see, the first step, like Telvina has put it, right? This is the first step in correcting this kind of system that we live in. We need to talk about the issues. The more, like Telvina stressed basically on silence, the more we keep silent about these things, the more they increase in our homes, the more they increase in our community. So the first step is what we're doing, is what other institutions are doing, what other individuals are doing. Come up and hold these people accountable for these things, because they have been placed in those various positions to be able to provide basic services, basic life, safe space for people. That's the first thing. Now, the second thing is, with all of what we're talking about, Telvina talk about the government effort, we have these laws. All of these laws, they got the children law, the rape law, all of these laws are in.
I think we lost
Yes.
Aaron, so Telvina, you can pick up
But
from there. We lost
be
Aaron.
effective.
Okay, he's back.
So they need to be effective as possible. Also, we need to understand, we as people, we as Liberians, for me, I like to stress mostly on citizens also. We all have a responsibility to stop genitals of violence. You know, it will up and say, oh, this thing happened to me. You know, I've been raped, I was violated. And then the first question people start to ask is, who carry you there? You know, what did you go to do there? People try to give justification for rape and other forms of violence. We need to stop these things. We need to shame the perpetrators, sorry, and provide support for the victims. This is how we can do away with, you know, gender-based violence like that. The Ministry of Gender needs to come up and take responsibility of all of these things. It'll be surprising for you to know that all of the things happening like that, all of the various cases, Telvina said, everything is in the newspaper, it's on Facebook, it's on the news, it's on the radio. When last did you hear the ministry coming up with a very profound or, you know, a very strict or press release about these things? They just sit there, they do nothing. But then we expect these things to stop. So we can have people who are in positions that are supposed to help, or they are supposed to work tirelessly to end violence in Liberia, and then they are so relaxed, they're enjoying their positions because they're there because no one can take them from there, and they don't care about the issues. So I allow Telvina to, you know, come.
Yeah.
Okay. Before Telvina come in, I will also allow my colleague Eric Gelly to come in.
Sure.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks to our guests. It's a pleasure, you know, joining them to actually provide some of those information as it relates to the way of violence we are experiencing in Liberia just within the course of the COVID-19. You have explained a lot, and I must appreciate your move, your whatever way you think you can, contribute towards this particular issue. But my question is, sometimes in Liberia, people usually say talking is free. Sometimes talking is free. You might talk about it. It can be in a newspaper. You might put it in a newspaper. The official gonna read it. But that is not just author it. What we need is action. So as let's say as an advocate who is standing in a gap to see that some of these wrongs are corrected, what are some of those positive steps that you think that you are taking that would lead to that would lead to good result when it comes to correcting some of those wrongs? Because talking is just another part of it, another aspect, but the action is what we are looking at. So what are some of those positive actions that you have embarked on when it comes to handling some of those issues?
Okay, so let me jump in there. I like what you said, action, because you know what? We have a three-pronged process. And the three-pronged process that guide the work that we do, one of them is awareness. The second is assessment. And the other one is action. Because you know what? Action is huge. Talk is cheap and free, but we need to walk our talk and practice what we preach. And so it's very important. And let me step back a little bit. People always say, oh, you're in the government, everybody's talking about the government can do everything. Let me tell you something. We must hold our government feet to the fire. They are the duty bearers. They are the forerunners. Everything else you and I do, it's good as good citizens for us to add to it. But they are the front people leading this army. We must hold them accountable. It is their role. They took on that role. They took on those responsibilities. They must act. Otherwise, they must leave the space or leave the role. It is that simple. Now I'll go forward. What we are doing as good citizens and as people who are passionate about this cause, we're advocating. We're doing need assessment about the kids. We're looking at the issue of rape, high increase of violence, but we're looking at what are causing these things? What are the other surrounding issues to this? We're also doing some actions. So we're engaging even the duty bearers. So right now, one of the things we're doing is one of the cases, and I'm not going to go into the details of the case, but one case, for example, was the case with a police officer. That the girl that reported the abuse, and then the officer abused her also. So we've been following through on that case. We've met with the family a couple of times. We're engaging the family. We're looking at ways in which we can help the family. We're engaging the family. We're also holding the government accountable. So members of our team, we're almost a team of 30, about 10 of us in Liberia. And the folks in Liberia, as well as the folks here, including myself, were reaching out to the government in different ways and asking them these questions, because typically what we see on Facebook as a trend is these cases come up, everybody get excited about it, which is good, and make the noise, but then the government, the duty bearers do not follow it through to the end. Or some of us advocates advocates just leave it halfway and don't see it to the end. And I will openly say it. Unless the family decide that they want to drop this case, we own this. We're going to follow it to the end of it, till the case is closed. We're on it. We're holding the all players responsible. So talking about what you're doing, that's one thing we're doing. We're also engaging safe houses. If you maybe you guys don't follow us a lot on our page, just a few months ago, we look at the needs of some of the safe houses and whatever it is, and we're able to give them 3 or 4 of them some bags of rice at safe houses. But now that we've given them the bags of rice, we're looking at other needs of them to see how best we can help them. But not only that, we want to be able to help the communities. We want to be able to engage people like you guys. There are other people in the communities. We want to make them gender sensitive as well, so that they can be advocates in their own community. Because this thing is, yes, we're holding the government accountable because we say, you lead this, but it requires effort on all levels. So you need to do your part. I need to do my part. The pastors have to do their part. The imams have to do their part. Everybody in the community got to do their part. So we're taking it, one step at a time, but then we're pulling to different strengths. So talking about what we're doing, that's what we're doing. We're constantly rolling. We're working on some other projects. We're engaging education ministry. Right now, we're two or three of our group members, I'll be proud to say that they're on a committee at the Ministry of Education, on whatever strategic committee to assist in whatever reshaping of documentation or planning or whatever it is for the common good of the country and the education system. So these are the things we're doing behind the scene, but we can't come on Facebook and broadcast everything. But we're working on some things. And as you follow us more and more, our page or our work, you will see that you'll see what we're doing. You'll see more of it. Aaron, please feel free to jump in at any time.
Okay, Aaron, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so here when it comes to the awareness issues, wherein you people are carrying awareness, how have you been engaging community dwellers on sexual gender-based violence issues?
So you know that. So currently we're in a situation that you can't go more than 6 feet close to somebody, and there has been some measures taken to keep safe from COVID-19. But as per our advocates, as per our reaching out to community, this is some of the ways we've been reaching out to communities. We've been, like Telstra, we've been going. This is not our first show. This is not our second, not our fourth, not our fifth. We've been on so many platforms. We've been on so many radio stations, bringing out this issue, talking about it. We've also been able to reach out to the vulnerable communities. We've also been able to reach out to the less privileged in these times. So as for now, we have a large platform as a group. We have a lot of things in the storehouse. Like Tel said, we're still developing on most of our programs and stuff like that. But in the midst of COVID-19, what we can do is we've been engaging more institutions. We've been following up on government officials. You heard Tel. We've talked to officials from the police. We've talked to officials from the Ministry of Gender. We even have somebody who was a very lucrative position at the Ministry of Education. So all of these things are geared towards our advocacy, our reaching out to the community, and making sure that all these major issues are being alarmed and it's being placed out there to those who need to hear it.
Okay, you talk about engaging. Hello, Aaron. Okay, let me get to you, Telvina. Aaron. Okay, you talk about engaging government officials, visiting different platforms and sharing the awareness information. And this 5-year-old, I'm sorry to say, this 5-year-old that was raped and also 10-year-old that was raped do not have the opportunity to go on the internet or may not have access to a smartphone. So now, how do people like that, especially maybe old lady, how do people like that get those awareness if they are not on the internet to follow your shows and government officials are not the victims? So how do people like that get those information? Telvina, you can answer that question because Aaron is off for now.
Aaron's there, but I can answer.
I'm here.
Okay,
yeah, go ahead.
So I'm glad you mentioned that. So that's one of the things we look at, and some of the things we're working on as a way to engage people like that. So I don't want to go into the details of the work of our program that we're working on now because there are some dream snatchers here, but we do have something that we're working on to engage that population, because obviously everybody's not on the internet, but to engage the community so that grandma can be able to hear it in the way that she should hear it because she's not able to come on the internet, or grandpa, or, whoever can be able, and the children, the schools, all those kind of things. So we have a program that we're working on now to address that population. Unfortunately, I won't be able to explain the details of it, but that is in work there in our minds. And we're going to engage them as soon as possible. I hope that COVID was not around, but we're working on that. We're working on other ways, even with COVID now, we're working on ways to engage that population. Even though grandma cannot come on the internet, but grandma or grandpa or uncle or auntie can listen to the radio, right? Somebody can go in the community and talk to that person. So, and grandma can be able to hear, or anybody can be able to hear that, about rape, report rape or stop rape in their language, because not everybody can understand English, So we're aware of those obstacles. And so we're when you hear me talking about need assessment, or we're doing an assessment, those are some of the things we're looking at and we're addressing. So I'm glad you asked that question, but we're on top of that game. I can tell you if there's anything you want to take away from this.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so just,
Eric, okay.
No, go ahead. It's okay.
No, go on, Aaron.
No, I just wanted to add to what Tel said. So right now, out of the situation we're faced with COVID-19, we can't be going out as we're not in normal times anymore. But also, like we've said, we've been making some moves. We've been reaching out to victims and their families. We've been reaching out to the police and other people. But as per the general population, that will come in the soonest possible time.
Okay, thank you. Eric?
Yeah.
Okay.
Angeline, I know you asked about what we're doing to engage that population, but let me send this out. As the duty bearers who should be leading the charge on this, they should be taking those, the microphone, whatever they need to take, going to the markets, going to communities, and engage those people. That's what our leaders should be doing. That's what they should be doing. And I expect them to do it on all levels. I saw one or two of them doing it during the heat of the COVID. They were in the market and market. But you know what? This is greater than COVID. You're destroying the fabric. The nation of the fabric of the nation is being destroyed. So they need to act now. So I'll stop there.
Okay. I'm sure they got you. Eric?
Yeah. Okay, enjoy me. I'm getting you. Quite recently, we saw the chief of staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia, where he was invited as a guest to speak on some of those issues. And he came out to say that looking at the wave of violence, especially rape cases in Liberia, he is suggesting that there should be death penalty for those who actually raped minors. And again, we saw the First Lady of Sierra Leone quite recently again speaking on the issue. So as an advocate, what do you make of some of those statements? And what are the ways forward that you think we can follow?
You want me to go first?
Please.
Okay, for me personally, I think the statement from the chief of staff and the first lady, all of this statement, they're welcoming. I appreciate that solidarity, but I think what we need to prioritize right now, especially with the chief of staff and his portfolio in his office, we need to look at what do we have now. How can we make what we have now work instead of talking about death sentence? I mean, if the law says we should go for death sentence, that's okay. But we have laws on the books now that you people can go to court and they should serve their sentence and all of that. Those ones that we have, let's focus on that. let's focus on implementing what we have now instead of talking about something that is this is not just about the sympathy or the pain. It's about people like him should be able to work with his colleague and make sure that these laws that we have are being followed, and victims, get their justice as required. When we start to do that, when we start having perpetrators going to court and being charged and going through the due process, and victims or having their justice, and justice is being served to everyone, then we can start talking about other things to add it. That's my own personal view. I'm not saying it's a bad idea or it's good, whatever. No, I am saying what we have now is what we need to work on. That is my view.
Okay, so hello.
Can I chime in there?
Yeah,
okay,
come in.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the two questions, one about the chief of staff. I will tell you that I applaud him for speaking up as a leader. I personally do not support death penalty for anything. That's just me. How we're raised or whatever it is, be it, my religion or whatever it is. I don't, but I applaud him for speaking up so boldly and so, firmly on this subject, because that's how a leader should speak, especially on a grave issue like this. Now, why I do not support death penalty, I also believe that, speaking about what Aaron said, the laws need to be enforced. We need to enforce the law. We need to get a hold of these perpetrators. They're walking away free, and that's why the numbers keep increasing because they feel like, I can go to jail for 2 days or nobody can catch me, whatever it is. If you set good example on a couple of them, trust me, the other people will follow suit, going back to the laws. So I personally, in as much as I do not agree to death penalty, let me go on record for saying that I support chemical castration for anybody raping children, raping people under the age of 18. I support it with every fiber of me, because you know why? I know the damages that person, that perpetrator can cause to a child when you molest a child. I've seen it happen to family members. I've seen it happen to friends' children. I've seen it, I've lived it. And so I know it. And so harsher punishment, harsher, whatever you want to call it, will be the way forward to deter this bad habit. If you set an example on a couple of them, trust me, the other ones will think twice before they do this. This is out of hand because, again, tuned from the top. Nobody is saying much. The leader's not saying much. They're not acting. And so these people just getting away with nonsense, destroying people, children, boys, girls, and even women. You calling the people, calling children minors, or that my 13 over there, that my 18 over there, or that my foolishness. Seriously, I'm sorry, but it is concerning and it is disturbing, and much needs to be done. I am serious. The president must hear this. All agencies connected to this must act. So the chief of staff did the right thing. Now, fast forward to the first lady. I listened to her twice. For some reason, I like to listen to the Freetown accent. I enjoy it. But on a serious note, I'm glad that she took the stand as a first lady. She spoke, and she spoke well, and she spoke with authority, and she sent a clear message. And she told them, it is not happening here. If you think you're going to do it here, you better find somewhere else to go, because you and I in Liberian Force, you and I for it. We and you, we for it. You ready? We ready. And that's what our first lady should be saying. That's what our gender minister should be saying. That's what our vice president should be saying. And all other women in leadership should be saying, even the ones in the Senate, or even common citizens. Everybody's hand should be in this and loud about this and outraged about this. So I applaud her. I hope our first lady, and I posted that on Facebook, I hope our first lady will listen and learn. In times like these, you take the budget, take the taxpayer money and left the country and sitting down somewhere in America or somewhere part of the world. That's a betrayal to the people you claim to love. That's a betrayal to the nation. And you got people in your backyard. People, you know, little people, you paying it small money, and they're posting small message on your page and say, put it in quotes, the first lady say this, and they got your old messages that you know, old speeches that you made, and they trim it and they putting it there and make it look like you spoke last night. That is unacceptable. That is deceptive to the nation and to everything that you say you believe in. So you need to get it together. And this is a message for Claire Weir. You better put your acts together. We're not stupid people as you think we are. We are not. We are upset. The fact that you even on that budget, it is upsetting. I don't take kindly taxpayers' money. No. Let me finish. I don't take kindly the misuse of taxpayer money, because you know what? This is what I do for a living in Texas. I follow Texas taxpayer money. The misuse of taxpayer money, it is personal to me. I don't like me living it. It is personal. You got taxpayer money and you misusing it. I don't care. Let me finish. Let me finish. I'm not going off topic. Let me finish there. So it is important. So back to the speech of the first lady, it was noble, and I hope that others, or not only first lady, but other ladies will follow suit. They will follow suit, including the feminist in chief, that he will take this with a sense of urgency and declare a state of emergency in the nation. It's about time. So I'll stop there.
Here, you keep emphasizing the issue of law. The laws are there to actually execute or prosecute those perpetrators. And somebody might just say the laws are written on a book, but they are just dormant. They are not functional. I mean, because look at the issue of those who are supposed to enforce the law, like
Hello?
issue. So I don't know, when it comes to the issue where you're talking about the laws are there, do you really think that the law alone will be able to handle the issue?
So if you're listening to me closely, I didn't just say the law. I also said the political will, the will to do the right thing is missing. When I say a rotten system and we must lead, the leaders must lead, that's what I think. You must lead by example. You must hold yourself accountable first to be able to hold other people accountable. And that's what is missing here. We have good laws. We don't need to reinvent the wheels. There are good laws. I've read all the related laws, with rape and domestic violence and all of that. The only Yes.
Yeah, in terms of your advocacy, how influential has your work been? Because we always say, the government have to put effort and other, officials as well. But in terms of your own working, what have been some of the sources when it comes to your advocacy? Had there been a time where people actually come to seek justice, to say, yes, indeed, it was somebody like this that actually stood for me to get justice?
So we're going backwards here instead of going forward. You're asking questions that already be addressed. So one thing you need to pay attention. I will say that.
Okay, let me come in. Hello, how you doing, Telvina?
Yes, let me address that. Let me address the question that come in. Yes. So let me also address that. We I don't know if Aaron said that, but we're a new group. So we've been in existence less than 4 months. So for less than 4 months. So through our work, we've seen a lot. We're not here to blow our own horns, but I mean, people out there can tell the difference to our advocacy and awareness. We've been on at least more than 12 or more platforms, and even that we're doing infomercials. We're doing a lot of promo all day. We're posting things, doing a different awareness. We're also engaging the stakeholders. We're engaging government. We're engaging private entities. We're also engaging safe houses. And like I told you about this one case in question. We've taken ownership of that case. So we're engaging the highest of authorities on that police case. Like, we want to know, where is this man? In fact, we want to, first of all, before even the arrest warrants were out, we were on it. we were behind them and said, you have to put a arrest warrant out for this man. You need to arrest even the first perpetrator, because everybody was focusing on the police and not focusing on the first doer of the act. So we were on that. In fact, before it even hit the, everybody got the hype about it. We were engaging the one or whatever, 1 or 2, 3, 4, 100, whatever the numbers are, and say, look, you guys need to get into the community and talk to these people. You guys have ruined their trust. You need to engage them. So we're doing all of this behind the scene. So as far as our work, we're engaging. Just yesterday, we took on we're working on taking another case of another minor, a minor who was molested and somehow, I don't want to disclose the details here, but we're working on that case as well behind the scenes. So not everything we'll talk on here, but we're working. And I think our work can speak for itself. We don't need to, toot our own horns here, but I think we're working. Follow us on Facebook, Eric. Follow our website, follow each one of our pages, and you will see that what we do, that we live in what we're doing, even though we're not in political, in authority, but even as civilians, we're doing what is required of us in this fight.
And just to add, we just want, you and whoever listening now to know that this is not a group that has come to say, oh, we here to do things that people didn't do or people not doing. No, we're not here to we know that this fight is not something that one person can do or will do alone. We are a small group that has just been established, and because of that, we have a systematic, a line of work. We don't just want to jump into this thing and jump into another one. We are taking these things step by step, and there will come a time that we will have direct, interaction with all of these people and victims and stakeholders and stuff like that. So we just need to make people understand that this entire work, and make you to understand that this entire work is something that you don't just jump to do. You have to, you need to have your system set up, your organization set up, and be able to go in line with what you want to do. So it's a step-by-step process.
Okay. Well, one of our viewers on Facebook wants to know how people donate to your effort. He also sent his contact, saying that people can contact him. So how can you convince them to donate to your causes?
So we're asking everybody, if you follow us, you will see that we've been saying this, that we're forming a mighty army. None of us are so much knowledgeable about this, but collectively we can do much. So we're asking not only for your money, we need the money to do the work that we do to support survivors. Like I was saying, we're in discussion about another case that, I'm not going to disclose here, and even the existing case with the family, but we want you to donate your time. So if you're passionate about this, please join us. We have our Facebook page. Right now, I think we just opened that page about a month ago, and we got over 500 people, and it's growing every day. So join our Facebook page. Also, we have a website. Our website, if you don't mind putting the pinning the information, but it is S as in Sam, SGBV, like sexual and gender-based violence, SGBV Liberia, one word, .org. Again, is sgbvliberia.org, and you can look us up. The page is alive and active. Look it up. Is browse it, give us some feedback. So we have a space there where we say support a survivor and other things there. I'm not sure if you can make a payment through that yet, because the site is 90% completed. But if you like to donate, please feel free to give him my number or give him, Dr. Cindy, Derby Cindy. He's at the University of Liberia. He is our point of contact in Liberia. He's at the Kofi Annan School. You can make contact. If the person is in Liberia, they can make contact with him there, or they can reach me through Facebook. My Facebook name is Tel Cole. I just abbreviated my legal name. Look me up, and you can make a payment, or financial contribution. And we are registered, so you will get credit for your money if you want, tax or documentation at the end of the year to claim whatever you donate to us. Certainly, we'll give you that paperwork. So that's all I can say at this point. Aaron, please feel free to jump in.
Or maybe you can also message, you can also log on to our Facebook page, and then you can message us there. You have somebody communicating with you from the Facebook page.
Oh, I forgot one thing too, though. We have a membership. The people that own Facebook, that own our Facebook group, they are members of the group, general group, but they're members of the organization. So that's a distinction there. So if you want to be a member of the organization itself, we have our application process. It's for the folks in Liberia, it's free. You just have to have a passion for this cause and be willing to work. This is not one of those groups where you will just sit back and just let walk your work, papu draw thing. No, you must engage. You must be active. You be involved. So it's free. You fill out the application and send it to our group email. Now, if you're in America, there's a $25 non-refundable application fee, and it's $75 for the annual fee. You can pay small in my Liberian voice, small, but this funding is not for any one of us, but it's to support the work in Liberia, it's to support victims. Like some of the victims, I mean, you and I know some of them want to go to court, they don't even have transportation. They want to call even the police to check on the status of their kids. They even got data in their phone. So these kind of things are just to support them as they seek justice. So please feel free to reach out to us.
Thank you. One of the truths that I highlighted from you people here is that, most especially Telvina, is that cases are increasing. The cases of violence, sexual gender-based violence, are many. And you kept blaming the leaders, our leaders, who you said are the head of everything, and you kept blaming them. But the victims also needs to know some of the causes, the major causes of violence cases. Probably when they are educated, when they know about it, then they will be able to know when it comes before them. So they need to know some of the major causes of violence, sexual gender-based violence, and what should really be done. That's when it comes to reporting the cases, what should really be done so that they cannot get future embarrassment, because some of them fear might be, if I report this case, probably if people notice that I was raped, my name XYZ, something like that. So just briefly lay some of the major causes and what should actually be done by victims.
Angeline, I think you said it all. This involves work on all levels. I keep stressing the government, because the greatest responsibility is on the government, whether we want to say or not. And I know our culture, we're not used to, to be bold about these things. And when you bold about certain things, they think you're opposition or you want political position. It's not the case here. I tell people all the time, we're contented with our McDonald's job, but we want to see the right things done, and that's where we are. So we need to empower the communities, like you were saying. We need to empower the victims. That this whole idea of victim shaming and blaming, we need to do away with this. We really need to do away with this. Because somebody raped me, somebody said, you're not going to wear that shirt trouser there with all your chest open, that man, we're not going to rape you. You're the one responsible. Look at the way you're dressing. You can't cover yourself. How the man will not rape you? I am free to walk any way I want. If I want to jump outside there naked, that's my business. And that's what we need to train people to. You don't own my body. I own my own body. If I'm walking out there, it doesn't give you the right for Eric to put his hand on my shoulder, or to contact, hey, it touched me this place, or touch, Angela this place. We need to respect boundaries. We need to respect, victims, and so we were aware of these things, and that's what we have. If you look up behind me, do you see this? This is Gender Talk. So this is our this is our new podcast. Our new podcast will be launching that soon. So this is geared towards that, empowering people. We need to teach advocacy and teach all of this awareness from the grassroots level, to your point, Some people don't understand what is considered, violence. The thing is cool. If somebody say, oh, you're looking nice, when they touch me here, they think, hey, that's nice. You know why? Because I didn't get used to hearing that growing up, or I'm not so they think it's cool. It is not cool for somebody to be touching me here if you're not my husband or whatever it is. And so people need to be taught what is considered violence, what is sexual violence, what is rape, what is, sexual harassment, inappropriate touches, consent, and all of that. So that would be some of our focus, teaching gender violence from the 0 level, zero, everything you need to know. We'll try our best to talk about it, and also engage survivors to come on and tell their stories, and the entire community. We want to make it interactive. Tell us what you want to know, and we don't profess to know everything, but we'll do our best to inform and learn in the process. So this is one of the ways that we're hoping to get this done.
And to chip a very quick point, please, before we move on. You see, we have a culture in Liberia that people can take normal issue, or that my own daughter here, when they get in the community, pass here around them, one female will say that one woman he not married. Those things, we have to stop it. We have to make our parents to understand that no small child should be marrying female in their mouth. This is how the kind of issues can start. So that small child where you say, oh, you see the girl passing, the small girl passing, say that my own woman you are married, and everybody in the community say that your husband, those things need to stop. Those things about telling your daughter to sit on her uncle's lap needs to stop. These are the things that we need to start discouraging in our homes. Because you tell the little girl to sit on the other man's lap. These are how these things come about. This is how it comes in the mind. So the kind of culture, this is how we need to stop. We know, eradicate these things from our homes.
Okay, thank you. So if you just join us, you are listening to The Basics, and our program produced by students of the Peter Cook School of Journalism in partnership with KMTV. So back to Telvina. Hello?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Back to Telvina. Hello, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Go ahead, Angel.
Okay, yeah. Okay, all right. So here, you have said and thanks a lot.
Somebody got a noisy background. It's distorting.
See that?
We're getting some noise in the background, but go ahead, Angeline.
Okay, so Aaron, hello, Aaron. Let me get the Aaron a little bit. Aaron?
Yeah, I'm getting you. I'm getting you.
So let's get your practice statement concerning these issues.
So first of all, I appreciate you guys for inviting us to this platform, for affording us the opportunity to talk about these things. These are conversations that we need to keep talking. We shouldn't stop it here. It's not going to stop here. We need to keep talking about these things. We need to keep bringing our government officials to question about these things. In the work of all of these things, some of the ways we can handle these things is by making informed decisions. You see, we're going into election process now. This is how we handle some of these things. We need to stop voting people, sorry to say, but we need to start voting people based on what we can get now. We need to start voting people based on what they can provide as per the positions they want, because we have so many people in government today who are in positions and don't know why they are there, what they should be doing there. This is why we have an alignment or rate of SGBV in Liberia, and nothing has been done about it. So we need to be informed about the decisions we make. We need to shame perpetrators. We need to shame perpetrators and stop shaming victims. You find that somebody will come out and express before we talk about people being able to come out to share a story. But the truth of the matter is, for someone to be able to share their story, someone should be able to listen. Someone should be waiting to listen to that person. So we need to listen to the victims and start to shame, call their names, call the place they work, call the communities they live in. If possible, if we know where they live, we need to shame these perpetrators, because they are the one causing the problem, not the victims. Because the more we shame the victims, you are causing more problem for them. You're making sure that a lot of people will not come up. That is how things like this become buried. That is how we have so much silence in our society on every form at all levels of violence. We need to bring our government to book, and they need to stand up. We need all those actors hand on deck on this. The Ministry of Gender, the Ministry of Defense, the ministry, the police, and everybody to work to make sure that rape is eradicated. Rape is more deadly right now in Liberia than COVID-19. So we need to stand up for this. So I want to appreciate you, and I also want to thank my big sister. She don't like me to call her boss, but she's my boss for joining us and guiding us through the process. And thanks to KMTV for inviting us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're welcome, and thanks for having your voice. Hope you are getting me. Hello?
Yes,
yeah,
I'm getting you.
Thanks for joining us today, and thanks for having your voice on our program.
It's a pleasure anytime.
Okay, so let's hear from you, Selvina. Okay, let's hear from you, Selvina.
Okay, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to Eric and Angeline. You guys tried to reach out to me yesterday. I swear I almost blocked you guys. I'll be very honest. I didn't even know you guys. But on a serious note, I just want to say thank you to you guys, and the fact that you guys are even talking on these issues. Eric, Aaron and I, we've been around for a while doing this, but just to see young people like you guys, want to be in this fight and talking about it, I'm blown away. So I just say thank you. I was telling my children about you guys and all, so I say thank you for even doing this. I hope your friends will follow same. Aaron and I will always talk about this, so I'm not going to tell him this song. He used to be telling him this, but I hope, they will follow you guys more and more, and you will raise a mighty army, and together y'all can come aboard with us. We can support y'all can support us. I like to mentor. Not only this, gender talk, it seems as though like this gender talk is what I do, but no, it's just a passion. But I really like to mentor people and watch, help them grow. So whatever way that we can be the support for you guys, please feel free to reach out to us, or your program, please feel free to reach out to us. Not me, our group, we have a mighty army, so we can always find somebody else to come on your show to add our voice to it if you need some sort of assistance. I want to say thank you to KMTV, to Nathan, the rest of the team for just opening the doors to us. You guys have done a lot of work for us, and just promoting the work that we do, and just you're believing us in the cause, and we want to say thank you. And all others out there, Spoon TV, SKTV, LPR Radio, Costa Show. I mean, there's just a bunch of them. They've opened their doors, their arms to us, and just support us in more ways that we can even imagine. I'm truly grateful. When I think about it, it brings tears to my eyes. I mean, they always welcome me, their platform, the time, and the audience, they follow us everywhere. They listen to us. They want to support the work. And, I just say thank you. I want to say thank you to the survivors and to others out there who contemplating or speaking up. I just ask me speak up. There's some sort of healing in the process. I've never been raped before, but I've seen other people being raped, and they tell me that it's a hard thing to do, but it's healing when you do it. So I encourage you to just find your time, your own time in a space, and you can speak up, and through that you can get your healing. You can make other people, help other people to speak up too. To the government, I can't talk to you enough. Do your work. I'm saying in Liberian English, do your work. We call you there to do your work. Pisota are calling your name. 3 years in a position is it's just way enough for you to do what is required of you. In America, where you and I have been, or I am still, we don't get to sit in our position for 1 whole year and not do our work or remain incompetent. If I don't do my work in 6 months or less, I am fired. I have to do even more than what is required of me because of my accent, because of my color, and much more. So do your work. You be in America, you got children, do your work. I've never sounded this way to you before, but I'm talking to you from a place of hurt. Do your work. Get your counterparts, your colleagues in the police, in justice, I heard you got a task force, gender task force that is mute as well, or female. I heard the police, head of police, who child and veteran unit is a female. Get to them. You do your work. The nation is hurting. People, children are being destroyed. This is not right. This is inappropriate. You can do much. Do your work. And to the perpetrators, and to the people who contemplating raping, hands off our children, hands off our men, hands off our women. Gone are those days. We're coming for y'all in my Liberian voice. We're coming for y'all. Your entire will not get tired with y'all. I'm in my fighting mode for rape. And we're coming for y'all. I'm telling y'all, we're coming for y'all. We on y'all. We're not leaving your white on rest. So I'll leave it. I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Eric, hello.
Yeah.
Let's hear from you, Eric.
Yeah, I'm here. We cannot say much. They have said it more. I saw this information concerning a 14-year-old girl who was allegedly raped by a school teacher. And I'm saying that she gave birth. And as well, she is calling on any well-meaning Liberian for help. So that's the information. I think it could be put on the social media as well. So for now, I think they have said it all well. Rape is not a personal issue; it's a national issue that we all need to fight. You don't need to sit and be victimized before you can make a move. You would rather start now. If you see somebody who is being raped, remember that it might be you too. It might be any other person. It might be your child. So you cannot tell. So it is not an individual business. It is a national crisis that we all need to fight. And let us engage it. And positively, we believe that if we all come together, we can do better. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Talvina, for that strong message to the government and also the people of Liberia, even the world at large, people who are following. And thanks for having your voice in our show today. So this is how we come to the end of today's program on the basis. Today's edition of this program. Thanks for joining us today.
I wonder how you make your head on in the press release. Although I read the news every day, but I'm really still getting confused now. And I just want to ask you some questions. Oh, is it based on money? Is it based on presidency? Is it based on technology? Is it based on war?